Okay, so before we proceed, two quick things. First of all, the Z unit that was on this mountain track over here, I think I placed it on the wrong starting point at the beginning of the game. It should actually have been down here at the start section, but it was here at the sixth. Okay, so I am back and we are now ready to proceed with the next turn. Before that, two quick things. First of all, the Z unit that was on this mountain track that I felt threatened my heroes, I actually placed it on the wrong starting part of the track. It should have started obviously on the start section, but I had it on the next space over, and it should not have been within reach of my heroes. But what done is done. That Z unit is now destroyed and it didn't do any damage to us at all, so I don't think it matters all that much. We still used ammo and such to destroy it, so I think it's fine. Also, while reviewing the footage, I honestly think that this is probably the only way to shoot the game if I'm not willing to hold the camera in my hand. It was fairly difficult to see, even if you know what the game is about, even if you know what different spaces do and what they are called. It's still pretty difficult to see, to see the map in its entirety and to see all the small tokens and counters on it. So I think we will have to, or I will have to use this zoomed in type of filming for future parts. It's also now pretty bright outside, so I think the map is going to be much more bright and much more visible, so we will see. But we will proceed with the next turn here, and this is our third turn, I think. No, it's the fourth turn actually. So we take the fourth event card, and this is where are they all coming from? And that is a very good question, and this is an awful card. This is a red card, as you can see up here. So this card is pretty bad. It's good for the Zeds, it's really bad for us. We see triple R movement, 0, outbreak, no. So that's actually that's a good part of the card. Then consume supplies, 7. That would mean 7 fully functional civilian units, and we only have 5 right now. We have 2 civilian units that are wounded and will not use up supplies, so that means that we don't have to consume any supplies either. That's also a good thing. And then we get to the really bad part, which is Zeds, and it says all. So all Zeds will move. Every Z on the map will move on every track. And in addition to that, there is also an event with that comes with this phase, and it says at the beginning of the Zeds phase, remove all dead Zeds marker from Zeds units in play. Then place a new randomly drawn Zeds unit at the start space of every track that does not have any Zeds unit on it. After placing the new Zeds, proceed normally with the Z phase. My god, having these many Zeds in one sentence is way too hard to pronounce. But okay, this is just a terrible card for us. Not only does it mean that there will be an additional 5 Z units on the map, this also means that these new Z unit will move this turn. So I will stop and add these to the board. Well, here we have it, folks. I think that all hell has broken loose. I was actually excited at first when I started placing these, because I noticed that the card said that only place on those spaces that do not have any Z units on their respective tracks. So I took a look here down at the Suburbs, where we already had a Z unit, this one down here, and I thought, yeah, well, I don't have to place any Z unit on that track, so maybe there are other tracks, and I thought that this wouldn't be that bad, but then I took a look at the rest of the board and we actually had to place a Z unit on all of the other tracks. And these Z units are fairly strong. We had a Z unit of 6 at the tunnel track, a Z unit of 8 on the highway track, a Z unit of 9 on the mountain track, and a Z unit of 5 on the forest track. So these are pretty terrible, pretty hard Z units that we have to deal with somewhere in the future. I think the most troublesome one right now is the Z unit of 9 over there at the mountain track right here. It's threatening my 2 heroes, and it's threatening my mining operation over there with Mr. Johnson, the crazy Jewish fellow. I think the tunnel ones, even though they are bad, it's still not that terrible. But yeah, this just went from being kind of manageable to, yeah, all hell breaking loose. We have an abundance of Zeds all over the place. And we are not done yet. Oh no, this is just the beginning. Now we have to move all of these Zeds. So we start down here at the suburbs, and I will move these guys up one step. And the way you move Zeds on a track, you always begin with the lower number ones, so that they don't stack onto each other unless they have been forced to stack by retreating or some other spawning type of thing. So up here in the at the forest track, we move the top one first, so it goes to the 5th space, and then we move the newly spawned Z where the other one was previously at. Then we move this guy at the mountain track, so he's now closer to my heroes, and I really have to think about either shooting everything I have at that Z or just running the hell out of there. We will see in the next turn. Then we can move these down in the tunnel, so the old Z unit that was already there moves one step further, and the new one moves after it, and then this one, and then we have this highway track, and this is the interesting one for this turn in particular. This Z unit will move into an area where there are civilians, and immediately a hand-to-hand combat will ensue. So the first thing that happens, infection level goes up, and then we have to compare the strength of the Zeds versus civilians, and both of them have a strength of 2, so they are equal in force, and we will use the equal value. Sadly, this is just an empty space on the map, so my civilians do not get any benefits from defending this, so we will just roll for the equal column. We'll see what the roll is. And that's a 5, that's pretty good. That's not too bad actually. Generally you want to have less than 7 for the Zeds. That would mean that you would win the battle, and for this particular occasion, rolling a 5 on the equal track means that the Z unit will take 2 hits and they will have to retreat, and my unit will take 1 damage. So we place 2 dead Zeds on this Z marker. Sadly it's not enough to kill it, it's still alive, and it moves back, and my civilian unit, which is already a wounded unit, have to take a casualty marker, so next hit it will die. But okay, and then we have to move the last Z here. He moves up a step following the other Z. Alright, so that was the Z movement phase, Z activation phase. And then we get to the last bad part, which is actions 1. We only get 1 action this turn, and we better make it count, because yeah, this can only end badly. The 2 areas where I'm mostly worried is this area down here on the highway track, because I have refugees, wounded civilians, a hero that are in close vicinity of the the Z units that are currently on this track, and then the next area is up here where I have 2 heroes next to a super strong horde of Zeds. They actually have 9 in combat, so I don't think I want to face that Z unit in particular anytime soon. So I think I have to move out of there as soon as possible. So I will actually use my my one and only action for the turn to move Mr. Johnson and the sheriff up to Lefty's Pass. Okay, so now because the sheriff has his special ability where he can order a unit to take a free action, or he can order a refugee or civilian unit to take a free action. I will actually do that now, and I will order these civilians to move. So I will move them to the campground here. This gives some extra value, extra protection for my refugees there, and the civilians can actually hunker down and probably build a barricade there somewhere, even though I would much rather have a barricade at the mine. But I think right now it's too dangerous to even think about the mine. And I do have this security guard down here, which can loot the security guard post for ammo if I really need to. But I think that looting or scavenging should be left to Mr. Johnson, because he's really good at it. Even if the chance of failing is minimal with Mr. Johnson compared to just rolling 1 die with a random unit. Okay, so that was our 4th event card. We only have 40 left, people. This will be easy. I mean, there's nothing to be worried about here, right? So we will draw our next event card. Well, it's green, but I don't know. Zeds Disease Quickening, refugee movement 1. So I can move 1 refugee somewhere. Don't really know which one that will be. I think I will move this one down at the nuclear power plant. I think that one is probably in most danger right now, so I will move that refugee 1 step. Outbreak 9+. We are at 3 currently, so there is no risk for an outbreak this turn. Consume supplies 6+. We have 5 fully strength operational civilian units, so we do not need to consume any supplies. And then it's the Zeds phase, and once again there is an event with this phase, and it says if and when eliminated this turn, each civilians or special civilians unit is replaced by a new randomly drawn Zeds unit in the space it occupied when removed from play. So yeah, this is supposed to be a green event card, which is supposed to be beneficial, and it kind of is. I mean, it has high outbreak values and high consume supply values, and we do get a lot of actions from it. But as you can see, there is also a lot of negative stuff on it. It still is, it still has a chance for outbreaks, and you do get these negative kind of special powers for the Zeds for the turn. So yeah. The movement for Zeds are at the highway and in the forest, and that is pretty bad because once again we have fighting. So we start down here at the highway. You should always start with the leftmost symbol first, but you can do it as however you want. But we start with this Zeds unit, which once again moves in on our wounded civilian unit, and let's see, our civilians are still at strength 2 and the Zeds unit is still at 2, so we will once again be forced to use the equal column in the hand-to-hand fighting. So first of all, the infection level goes up to 4, and then we have to roll, and I think this time my civilian unit will be destroyed, and what's even worse, they will be transformed into zombies if they do die. So let's see, let's roll for this. And that's an 8, yeah, that's no question. The only question now is, does the Z unit die or not? So we take a look at the equal column here at the 8, and yeah, that's the only positive here. Both the Zeds and the civilian unit will be destroyed. Now the civilian unit will not be removed from play, it will enter the hospital area, so we can, if we manage to rescue some refugees, we can get them back into play. We can re-equip and add more units to the board that way. So they are placed up here in the hospital area where we can have access to them. The Zeds are just removed from play. Well, the Z marker goes back into the Z cup, and then after all that we have to draw a new Zeds unit to replace our dead civilians. Well, that's not too bad. It's a Z unit of with a strength of 4, and it will take the same place where our civilians died. Okay, so then we move the next Z unit, and it moves up 1 space, and now the highway portion is complete, so we now move to the forest, and once again we have fighting, so the Zeds will move in for combat and my civilians will become active. And this time it's actually much worse, because the Zeds have strength of 4 and my civilians have strength of 2, so the Zeds are twice as strong as my civilians, so we will have to roll on the double. But since this is a village, it's a named place, we do get some beneficial defensive values to add to the combat. So we will move from, instead of using the double, we will use greater than. It's still pretty bad. Anything that's equal to or higher is bad for the players and good for the Zeds. So let's see, let's roll here. That's a 5. Well, at least that's good. I think that's decent enough. I don't think we can expect anything better than that. So we take a look at the greater than column at the number 5, and we see that both sides take 2 hits and the zombie player actually loses. So I will place 2 dead Zeds on the zombie or the Zeds, and they will have to retreat, and my civilians will turn to their weaker side because they took 2 hits. Okay, so for the final movement, these Zeds now move up here, and this is now pretty bad because Zeds can actually coexist on a space on the map, and if they do find themselves on the same place, they form a mob. So this is now a mob of Zeds, and their combat value is added. So this unit here has 4 and this unit here has 5, so this is now a mob of 9. So they are just as strong as this Z unit down here at the mountain track. That's pretty bad. So you can stack these to kind of show that these will move together when there's movement next turn. And I honestly think that the forest track is lost for now. The problem here is both the highway track and the forest track are pretty much lost, but I have to focus on something. So I will have to, with my 4 actions that I got from this card, I think I have to risk some civilians to be able to stem the bleeding from all sides here. So let me just adjust the player actions here so I can keep track on how many actions I have left. So I have 4 actions for this turn. And the good part is these civilians did not die, so I did not add another Z unit to the board, which could have been terrible for me. But let's see, for my first action, I actually think that I mean, I could build a barricade and try to slow them down up here, but I don't think that I have a chance in hell. I mean, these civilians are dying next turn unless I move them, but if I move them, the villagers will die instead. So I think for the first action I will shoot with I will actually shoot with Sheriff Hunt, and he can target 2 spaces from him with a penalty of 1. So he has an initial value of 5, and with a penalty of 1 he goes down to 4. So I will use up one of my ammo points, and I will shoot with Sheriff Hunt. That's a 3. That's a complete miss. I can tell you that right away. So that was a ammo point wasted and an action point wasted, actually. Okay. I think I have to shoot again. I have to start doing something to that horde of zombies up there. On the other hand, yeah, I think I will not shoot, actually. What I will do is I will move Captain Plaza. I mean, she cannot stay down here. I could risk her staying and actually setting off her booby trap next time this Z unit enters this area, but if she's unlucky they will probably kill her. So I don't think I want to risk her. The question is, where will I move her? And I think she's needed down here, so I might as well just move her here, 2 spaces, so she still can target the Zeds in question. And for my third action, I think I will move these civilians. We have 2 civilians left at the town center, and I will take the civilians with strength of 3, and I will move them up here. The civilians can move 2 spaces, so I will move them up there. And then for my last action I will move these. Well, now I see the problem here. I should have moved Captain Plaza. Yeah, I'll adjust this. I'll move Captain Plaza there, and then I will move my other civilians down here, effectively trying to get to the nuclear plant before the Zeds can get there. And the same goes for this part here. I'm trying to get to the farm and barricade it up so I can try and slow down the zombie advancement here. And I'm kind of counting on the sheriff and Mr. Johnson to be able to kill that other zombie, even though they have been rolling terribly until now. Okay, so that was my turn, so we move on to the next turn. This is a Suburbs night assault. Triple R movement 0. The refugees do not get any free movement. Outbreak 10 plus. The infection. Did I forget to add to the infection level? It says it's on 4 now, but I think it should be at 5. Yeah, I think I forgot. I'll just adjust it. I'm not too sure, but I think I forgot. It should be at 5. It's at 5, so no outbreak. Consume supplies, no, so that's great. And then we have Zeds, and that's where the special event is. And it says, in Suburbs spaces this turn. Zeds unit hand-to-hand combat attacks raise the infection level by 2 instead of 1. And there are no combat terrain shifts for friendly defending units. This is bad. This is not pretty bad, because the Z movement is ×2, so each Z unit will move 2 spaces. And this is pretty terrible. But okay, let's do this. First, these guys move down here for their first movement, and now this is a named place, and there is no defending units there, so this area now goes into chaos. And then they will move up here and attack Captain Plaza. She has this booby trap evasion skill, which says that when a Z unit enters this hero space, she may roll a die, and then if the die result is 4, 5 or 6, the trap is sprung and they suffer 1 hit and have to retreat. No, I mean, they suffer one hit and she retreats. Which would be bad for my refugees, but good for her, because she gets out of danger. So let's see, let's roll for this booby trap. And that's a 3, so that's a failed booby trap. So now she has to face these zombies in hand-to-hand combat, and this is now terrible. I think she will die now. I think this is it. We can say goodbye to our sniper. She has not done anything at all in this game, and she will probably die right now. The zombies have a value of 4, and I have a value of 3. So the zombies are greater than me. So we will roll on the greater than column. Let's see what their attack roll is. That's an 11. I can say, even without looking, that's terrible, because we will inflict 0 hits on these zombies and she will just die. So sadly, Captain Plaza is now dead. She's eliminated from the game. And that's bad. That's really bad. I forgot to increase the infection level again, so that goes up to 6. And now, as we can see, the Zed unit is alone with the refugees. So now the refugees become slow food for the Zeds, and they are also killed. And when refugees are killed, they are removed from the game, or they go back into the box. And in addition to that, each time a refugee unit is killed, the infection level goes up by 2. So the infection level is now at 8. This is not a namespace, so there is no chaos placed there. And now I kind of regret putting Captain Plaza there, but whatever. How could I known that this card would show up? The one card that could kind of screw me shows up. And that's basically how this game goes. You make a decision, you think it's really clever, you think it's a good decision, and then you draw the next card, and then you kind of think, what was I thinking? I mean, this is terrible. You have to be so careful, you have to be so, I mean, you have to tiptoe around everything, and you have to calculate and figure out everything. I love it, but it is frustrating. I mean, it's so frustrating, but I do like it. So you know, even if I complain or seem frustrated, I do enjoy when the game is this hard, because it forces you to think. So okay, just bumped into the camera, just that's fine. So now we move the next Zed unit here, and they have advanced along the track, and they are now kind of close to my to the town center. This unit is actually more than halfway to the town center, and this is just like turn 6 or something, and we have 44 turns. But okay, so now we are done with the Suburbs Night Assault part, or the entire card basically. We do get 3 actions now. So let's spend these actions well. I don't actually know what I'm supposed to do here, if I'm completely honest. This is terrible, but I think, after I adjust the player actions here, I think for my first action I will actually build a barricade here with these civilians, and the barricade fell apart. But I think that's a good idea. I don't think those civilians will survive for long, to be perfectly honest with you. But that's not the point. The point is to slow down the zombies. So I will build a barricade here, kind of in hope of slowing down this horde of zombies coming at me. So that was my first action, and that cost me 2 supplies, and we now have 4 supplies left. For my second action, I think I will have to start shooting at those zombies over there. I have to do something somewhere. So I will do this. I will well, I could shoot at the zombies with the civilians, but they are really weak. They only have a gunfire value of 2, so that's pretty weak. I mean, you have to roll like an 8+ to actually do any damage at all. So that's out of the question. The other thing, or the other action I could take is shooting with these civilians. Now they have 4 as their gunfire value, so they could actually do some damage, but I think that they can still stop this one zombie unit here without that much trouble. So I will concentrate on the zombie over at the mountain track. So I will use up my second action and 1 ammo point, bringing me down to 3 ammo points, and I will shoot with Sheriff Hunt at the zombies over there, and that's a 5. Let me just take a look at this buddies to the end card. Yeah, so I could use this for attacking. It just says if either performs a 1 die or 2 die roll, you may include 1 additional buddy die to the roll, and then pick which ones to use for the result. So I could use that to roll an additional die. So I rolled a 5, I had a 2 and a 3. So I will just basically re-roll the 2, and if I get a 1 I will just use the 2, but let's see. That's a 3, so that's 6. It's not as bad, but it's definitely not good. So now my buddy action is spent for the turn, and a 6 on the 4 gunfire value is actually a miss. No, it's not. 5 to 6 is 1 hit. 1 hit. So we do 1 hit to that zombie. And now we have 1 action left. And well, let's just do it. Let's shoot at them again. So I will use my last action and my last ammo point to shoot at those guys again. Let's hope for something higher than 1 this time. That's a 12. So that's perfect. That's 4 hits. No wait, that's 3 hits. Well, that's good enough. Yeah, he has a -1 penalty, so he can only shoot from the 1. He has a gunfire value of 4 instead of 5, his normal 5. So those are 3 hits. So the first hit will do another damage, the second hit will flip the Zeds, and they now become much more manageable. They have a value of 4 on their wounded side. And in addition to that, they take 1 more hit. So this is good. Now I have a chance of killing them in the next turn, perhaps. So okay, that was my turn. So we now draw the next card. This is well-armed civilians. Triple R movement 0, and this is where the event takes place. It says place the well-armed marker on any civilians or special civilians unit. Until it is eliminated, that unit receives a bonus of +1 shift when attacking and +1 shift when defending. Okay, so that is this counter here, well-armed counter. So they get some extra help both when attacking and defending. The question is now which unit should actually receive this bonus. And I'm not quite sure. I think it might be a good idea to give it to these guys down here at the highway track. But at the same time, these civilians up here are pretty strong, so they could probably benefit more from this. I think it's pretty clear that these civilians would probably benefit the most, the civilians that have a value of 4 down here at the Suburbs track. But this area is not under any threat right now, so I don't think I can afford giving this to the best unit on the map. I have to give this to a unit that's probably going to defend. One thing that we can take a look at is on this card in question. We actually see that the Zeds will move in the forest, so we know that they will attack up here. And I'm pretty sure that this civilian here does not stand a chance at all, so I think they will die. They will just be killed next turn. So I think we have to give it to these guys. And we have to hope that they can manage to get to the farm and bunker or barricade themselves in the farm and be able to stop the zombies coming. So yeah, I will do that. I will give it to them, so they are now well armed. Then we go further on this event card. Outbreak, no. Consume supplies, yes. So we go down to 3 supplies, and we now have 2 ammo points and 3 supply points, which is pretty low. And then, like I talked about just a second ago, the Zeds on the mountain track move, and actually these move like a mob, so they move together. Normally the Zeds move 1 unit at a time, but these have formed a mob and they now move, and they also attack together. So they have a combat value of 9. The infection level goes up and it's now at 9. And the Zeds are more than triple in strength than my civilians, so we have to use the triple column, but we can shift it down by 1 since we are defending a village, so that's the double column. And this basically, the only good thing about this is if they roll 1, or if they roll 2 to 4, we can actually do some damage to them. Otherwise they will just outright kill us. So let's see. Ha, that's an 11. So they annihilated these poor civilians. Come on, what did these people do to you? They completely annihilated those civilians. My refugees are activated and they start to flee. Hopefully, just in the nick of time. Hopefully I can get them out of there by the next turn. So, yeah, those are the only Zeds that move. And now we get 3 actions to do something here. So, like I previously discussed, I think for my first action I will actually have to move these civilians here to the farm. And civilians and refugees can occupy the same space, so that's not a problem. And then, now this is really dangerous. I don't know if I should do this, but I think I have to. For 2 supplies, I will build a barricade as my second action for the turn. And I will barricade myself in here. Okay. For my last action, I could continue on trying to shoot at those Zeds over there at the mine, or I could get my refugees out of harm's way, and I think that's probably the smartest thing to do, so I will move my refugees once. They have not moved this turn, so they can move again. So that will be my turn. And I have to take a look at the board and I will come back shortly.